Star vs. the Forces of Evil is one of my favorite cartoons in recent memory. I love the stories, I love the characters, I love the comedies, I love the environments. It's just a complete package. Mostly. Despite the issues I took with Season 3 in parts, I did thoroughly enjoy watching through it. I actually appreciated them going for the racism allegory in Season 3. I appreciated the story about Eclipsa and the mystery behind her. And while I will absolutely not call Season 3 the funniest season of the show, there were still plenty of great comedic moments scattered throughout. It's not like it became super serious all the damn time. I don't think I can say the same for Season 4. Now, the general consensus seems to be that Season 4 is the weakest season of the series, and unfortunately I find myself agreeing with that take. That being said, there are people out there that make it out to be like Season 4 is completely irredeemable. There is nothing good about it. It is all crap. And that's just a load of malarkey. Like with Season 3, I think there are plenty of good ideas here. There are plenty of good comedic moments. There are plenty of good character moments. I think the issue is it just doesn't all come together. You know that saying that there are too many cooks in the kitchen? I think that applies here, but instead of cooks, we're talking about ideas. There are just too many good ideas here that don't quite get fleshed out, and they all just mash together in a conglomerate of a product that just doesn't completely work. While I am sympathetic to good ideas that don't completely see themselves fleshed out, don't worry, there are plenty of dumbass decisions done in this season that just make me go, what the hell were they thinking? And I am going to do my best to cover them as objectively as I can. There's a very delicate balance that we have to strike when we're talking about something, in terms of what it is and what we wanted or hoped it would be. And I feel like a lot of us, when we don't get what we wanted in a show, we just say it's bad automatically, without considering the viewpoint of the artists, the creators, the writers, etc. We have to look at it from their vantage point as well. Of course, I still think it's possible to think a show or product is crap even when we're looking at it from their viewpoint, but I don't think we do that quite enough, and I'm going to do my best to do that in this video, while still riffing the crap out of this season, because, yeah, there's a lot I want to talk about. So, without further ado, this pathetic, worthless YouTube channel presents The Idiot's Guide to Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Season 4. We have 37 episodes we need to cover, so we better get started. Let's go! So Season 4 picks up where Season 3 left off, with the gang initiating in searches to find Queen Moon, Star's mother.
Isn't that the same tower? You checked twice already?
No. What do you know about towers? You live underground.
There are towers in the underworld, you know.
Sorry. You're right, Tom. You're not stupid.
You never said I was stupid.
This is what we call projection.
I'm an idiot!
Their search eventually brings them to this weird pie-centric area where they find a play being put on about them. Yeah, it's the Ember Island Players, only dumber.
Ho, ho, ho!
No, you celebrate Stump Day, not Christmas. I'm not going to tell you this again.
Save the pie for me! Stop!
That is the ugliest looking thing I have ever seen!
So the long and short of it is, they find someone there who's playing Moon. They think it's Star's actual mother, but it's not. It's just a method actor.
We were so close.
Oh my gosh! You have a gift! This is the most flawless contouring I've ever seen. I used my new luminizer to highlight my cheekbones.
Why are you doing this right now?
Holy shit, there's not being able to read a room, and then there's doing what Marco's doing here. I should probably also point out that the public reception to Star giving the throne to Eclipsa has been mostly negative. Yeah, Star's basically the equivalent of public enemy #1 right now. They ain't happy. Although this episode does give us promise that Eclipsa might be a good queen after all, as she's renovating the castle thanks to her transition team, as she calls them, which is made mostly up of monsters, not humans. Yeah. Reverse racism doesn't exist. It's still racism, even if you're racist against your own people. Oh look, the punchable face is back! Oh, how I did not miss you!
Okay, Glossaric, here's what's going down. I need your help, but I don't have time for any of your weird riddles. I am going to ask you a question, and you are going to answer it, okay?
Okay.
I think the reason I can't find my mom is because something happened to her when we went to the magic dimension. But I can hardly remember what even happened there. What did the magic do to my mom?
You're asking the wrong question. The real question is, what were you doing in the magic dimension at all? That was your first mistake.
Your second mistake was not disavowing this total asswipe after you found out he was faking his diminished brain capacity for months! And no, I am not going to let that go.
I had to go there to find my mom. just like I had to go there to defeat Toffee.
Maybe that was a mistake too.
Oh, shut the fuck up!
Have you ever worried that maybe there's a tiny chance that we might never find her?
Nope, we'll find her. I know it.
But how can you possibly know that?
Actually, she gives a very detailed and bizarre explanation.
As beach day?
Look closely, Marco. When exactly did we go to that beach?
What is this?
It's a gift from Father Time. It's from the future.
What?
Never mind.
Oh my gosh, this was on our fridge! How long have you had this thing? That's like so many levels of time paradox.
Just listen, okay? I don't know how, but someday soon, we're gonna have this awesome beach day, and there's no way I'd be this happy if we never found my mom.
How do you know that? I said, how do you know that?
But wait, it looks like they finally caught a break.
Marco! Over, under, around, and through. Grab the little Muni Rabbit, pull him through!
What are you doing?
The crust! It's just how my mom makes it. She made them all the time when I was a little girl.
So, do you think?
Yes. My mom made these pies.
So it turns out that every butterfly after Festivia, the baby that was switched out for Meteora by the Magic High Commission, actually descends from pie folks, i.e. these douchebags.
Pie of Truth reveals everything. Long ago, a pie folk girl traveled to the mainland with a pie carnival and was accidentally left behind.
Accident my ass.
She was taken by the King of Muni and raised by the magical High Commission. No one knew that she was not of royal blood. Her name was Festivia, and she became the Queen of Muni.
Like I said in the last video, hope fucking up 2 families for your selfish, racist desires was worth it, guys. Oh yeah, Moon also has amnesia and has been manipulated into thinking she wants to stay with the pie folk for the rest of her life so they can enslave her and work her to the bone so they can sell pies for money. Yeah, really. Thankfully they are able to escape with Moon as they go back to Muni. Of course, this doesn't fix her amnesia problem, but hey, small victories.
I can't believe your monkey was gonna let me fall into lava.
It's not lava, it's lukewarm tomato sauce.
Okay, what?
I hate coming here.
Oh yeah, Fulduk has family that are also pie folk. Good for her.
I have no idea what will happen, but I have this feeling that no matter what, it's going to be okay. Because I'm meant to be here with you.
I'm admittedly not the biggest Moon fan out there, but I will never forgive the show for how they completely fuck up her character later on. So we gotta bring Moon up to speed on everything that's happened since the defeat of Meteora. Like the fact that Eclipsa is now queen, humans and monsters are living together, or at least trying to live together. There's also the whole Globgore thing, just a little matter that they have to deal with. If there was one really nice thing I like about this episode, it's seeing the moments where Eclipsa and Moon bond with each other. It's not much, but it really sells you on the idea that these two could be friends with each other, under better circumstances. And by better circumstances, I mean better writing. So for a while, it actually looks like everything's going perfectly. Moon and Eclipsa are getting along, Star is completely happy, and then Moon inexplicably leaves with no explanation.
Where are you going? Your father and I are going to take off. It's Eclipsa. I don't trust her.
The idea that Moon does not trust Eclipsa in and of itself is not a bad idea. The problem is, the episode doesn't do a good job of conveying this. As far as we, the audience, can see, Moon and Eclipsa are on good terms. Hell, by her own account, Moon barely remembers what happened to her. She doesn't recall how she got stuck in the realm of magic. By the logic presented in this episode, there is legitimately no reason for Moon to not trust Eclipsa at this point in time. Like, literally, it never comes up. Oh, but you know what does come up? Star's decision to hand the throne over to Eclipsa.
I guess you don't think I made the right decision then.
Look, you were queen, and you made a decision. I may not think it was the right decision, but that doesn't matter.
That is not a ringing endorsement, people. River and Moon decide to head off for some alone time so they can catch up, i.e. have lots of sex, probably. As for Star...
Sure you don't want to come with us?
I feel like I gotta stay here and help Eclipsa figure this out.
I love you, sweetie.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
Cut! No, Moon, your line is, are you sure you don't want us to help stay behind and help you? After all, you're only 15 and you shouldn't have to go through this alone. Oh, what's that? You're not going to say that line? Oh, okay.
Go fuck yourself.
I hesitate to call this a flaw with the episode as opposed to personal distaste, but I really hate this moment. Moon, you're Star's mother. The least you could do is offer to stay. Sure, Star would probably say no because she's an idiot, but if you at least made the offer, your conscience would be clear. Oh, who am I kidding? Your conscience is clear anyway because the writing really fucked up your character, and no, we're still not at rock bottom. But that's for later down the line. For right now, we're stuck with Star and Marco staying behind with Eclipsa to help her become a proper queen. Now, a storyline like that you would think would have a lot of potential with it. And I can report, yes, there is plenty of potential in this storyline. The potential for it to turn into a fucking circus, that is. Star's first official act as Eclipsa's royal advisor is to stop a pissing match between her and Romulus over Globgor. Yo, seriously. Yes, despite the fact that Star herself pulls some very immature bullshit throughout Season 4, she is the most mature character throughout the entire season. No, seriously.
Look, this thing is getting out of hand.
Why are you telling me? She's the evil one.
Hey, remember when Romulus had a character arc? Neither do I. To be fair though, Eclipsa is not completely blameless either. She is clearly putting her selfish desire to free her monster husband ahead of the needs and wants of the kingdom. You know, the place where she is acting queen? Then again, Eclipsa never actually wanted to be queen, just like Star, so why the hell is anyone surprised by this? While this is going on, we have this stupid subplot where Marco, Star, and Tom are trying to plan their own beach day so they can fulfill the prophecy of that beach day photo. I should be enjoying this, but honestly, I'm just too distracted by all the stupidity around it.
Star, wake up!
What?
Please, for the love of God, tell me Marco was not wearing that. Oh, who am I kidding? He totally was, wasn't he?
Thank you, Star. I just wanted so badly for Globgor to be free. But you're right. The kingdom comes first.
Don't worry, if you learn this lesson 9 more times, you get a free smoothie.
I still think it's too warm.
Nah, if it's boiling, it's just right. Dude.
What's going on here? Is this what bro time is?
Yes, and you're stepping all over their turf. Go away! Also, if you want to replicate a beach day, shouldn't you want the water to be colder than boiling? It sounds like you're making a jacuzzi. I mean, I'm not judging you if you want a jacuzzi, I just want some fucking consistency. So remember when I said that the logistics of the Neverzone would cause some unfortunate implications? Well, here's one that I completely forgot about.
Is this Marco Diaz's room?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, thank goodness! I have been looking for Marco Diaz's room for months!
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Basically, someone stole Marco's Dragon Cycle in the Neverzone. So I want you to keep in mind the time dilation of Hekapu's dimension. Remember, 1 Earth minute equals 2 years in the Neverzone. Yeah, now it's making sense, isn't it? I do the math for you, but honestly, math hurts my brain. But the point of it is, this makes Marco look like an incredible jackass because apparently he hasn't been back to the Neverzone in months and hasn't even seen his own Dragon Cycle, who, by the by, is named Nachos. An appropriate name. Or, at least, was. Hey, did I mention that Janet hypnotized Marco to hate super cheesy nachos? I forgot to mention that, didn't I? I think on the whole, the episode is perfectly fine. It's nice, silly filler, action-packed. It almost feels like a Season 1 throwback in a way, and that this story really isn't connected to anything. It's just its own separate thing. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, yeah, Star apparently likes girls, too. Gee, if only the show actually did anything with this. Like, I'm sorry, Jackie and Jenna were sitting right fucking there this whole time. And, yes, I'm stalling. You see, I don't particularly like the next episode all that much. Hell, I despise it with my very being. And I kinda don't want to talk about it, but I have to. So, please forgive me if I get pissed off. This entire episode can be summed up with this one joke.
You done fucked it up!
Let's start with the fact that Star consistently brags about Marco to Tom and the rest of his family. You know, Tom, the guy she's currently dating. Seriously, what the hell's with the attitude she has when Tom asks her to stay and she coldly rejects him?
I'm sorry, Tom, but I promised Marco I'd be there. You understand.
Girlfriend of the year, everybody. Thankfully, Karma still exists and knocks Star off her imaginary pedestal by having this lava-esque storm knock her off Cloudy and fall to the ground. Cool. But it's okay. Everyone can just shelter in the lake house, where things get a lot dumber. It starts with them going through the photo album.
Wait a minute, Tom, you were at my going away party? Why don't I remember that?
Stop the film. Stop the film. We're sending you to train in a safer dimension. A place called Earth.
Goodbye, Muni.
You see the problem, right? Those 3 scenes that I just showed you from the very first episode looked like they happened in-universe within a span of like 10 minutes maybe? Unless everyone just congregated in the Never Zone, this didn't happen.
Great continuity! Also,
why does Tom look miserable in this scene? Could he possibly be having second thoughts about his relationship with Star? No. You're getting ahead of yourself. That's still over 30 episodes away. Because the chart says we have to prolong this bullshit as long as possible. And then there's this brilliant scene.
Oh, your carriage! You took me to the Blood Moon Ball in that.
Yeah, that thing took forever to put together.
Wait, you built that crazy thing?
Well, I made it, so I could drive you to the Blood Moon Ball. But it didn't really go as planned, I guess.
You're seriously doing this, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm taking a little bit of issue with this. Keep in mind that when the Blood Moon Dance happened, all the way back in Season 1, Tom was still an egotistical, super angry lunatic that had no control over his rage issue, and deluded himself into thinking that Star and Marco were a thing when there was literally zero evidence at the time that they were a thing. Are we really trying to humanize his actions from back then? Are we really doing that? Then again, even with this in mind, the bullshit that Star pulls later on in the scene clearly shows Tom as the better half of this relationship. Yeah, we might as well get to that.
Okay, whatever your mom's mad about, it's definitely something I did.
Hey, it's a stump day miracle. Self-awareness on Star's part. Maybe this means she's getting better at taking responsibility for her actions.
You serious?
Yeah, I figured that was too much.
Well, she likes you, but I think she's concerned you might hurt me again.
Wait, why? Just because we broke up? Everybody breaks up. That's what teenagers do. Teenagers are dumb.
Speak for yourself, lady.
I'm an idiot.
It might be because you kissed Marco.
You knew about that? And you didn't say anything?
Not? You knew about that? Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to. It was a total accident. Not? You knew about it? And you're not mad at me? No, she says...
And you didn't say anything?
Why are you pissed off at him? You're the one that cheated on him.
Go fuck yourself.
Yes, Star did in fact cheat on Tom with Marco. It was not malicious. It wasn't even intentional, but she still cheated on him. And yet, this little bitch is trying to spin it so that the problem is that Tom didn't tell her that he knew about it. Not the fact that she cheated on him, but that he knew about it and didn't say anything. What the fuck? Oh, and spoilers? Star never actually apologizes for cheating on him.
I bet you're the kind of guy that would fuck a person in the ass and not even have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
You told your mom, and you didn't tell me?
You're not supposed to be angry. I am. If I had kissed Marco, wouldn't you want me to tell you?
Well, I don't know, yeah, I guess.
But you didn't tell me.
You know, this is actually a perfect segue to my next point. Mr. Lucifer, yes, I have a bone to pick with you. First of all, why would you specifically name drop Marco there? There was absolutely no reason for you to do that. Second of all, hey kids, pop quiz! What do you think Mr. Lucifer does in regards to his relationship with Star upon learning that she's more pissed about the fact that he didn't tell her he knew about the kiss than the fact that she cheated on him at all? Does he A. justifiably dump her as her behavior shows a clear immaturity and ill-preparedness for a relationship, or B. does nothing and stays with her despite the lack of apology or acknowledgement that she even did anything wrong? If you chose answer A, well, you give the show way more credit than it deserves. Not only does Star not apologize, she just up and leaves!
I gotta go.
Wait, what? What bullshit is this? Oh, and then Tom gets swept up in the storm, and Star has to go and rescue him. Wow, karma sure does work in mysterious ways.
He's gonna die.
Are you an angel?
Nah, I got a demon for a boyfriend.
You mean you have a doormat for a boyfriend? I kid, but... No, actually, no, I'm not kidding. You, sir, are a fucking doormat. Yes, Tom has had unjustified anger at numerous occasions in the past, but this time, when he confronts his girlfriend over the fact that she kissed her best friend, and then puts on a ponytail and show, getting pissed off that he called her out on it, He doesn't have the nerve to dump her when he would be completely 100% in the right? What the fuck? Oh, and here's the real kicker. That lava storm that I've been mentioning? Yeah, it was caused by Tom's mother.
Sorry, Star. My wife has her own emotional weather system. Haven't seen a storm like that since her sister started going out with her ex-boyfriend.
What are you doing? No, seriously, what the fuck are you doing?
So yeah, after all of this horse shit, the only character in this episode to apologize for their behavior is Tom's mother, and everyone just goes about their business like nothing actually happened. Are you shitting me? I'm legitimately impressed at just how wrong everything in this episode is. From the tone, to the writing, to the dialogue, to the character interactions. Oh my god! It takes effort to be this wrong!
Oh, I would hate for Star to break her plans with the Diaz's.
Dude, not only has this girl not apologized for cheating on Marco, she got pissed off at you for rightfully calling her out. You're still giving her the benefit of the doubt?
At this point, Mr. Reynolds, I'm convinced you have a learning disability.
You know what? I have to stop with this episode. This legitimately pisses me off. Let's just move on to the next episode. We're only 7 episodes into the season, and already people are trying to assassinate Eclipsa. Wonderful. Okay, it's not actually assassination. They're basically being turned into stone. You know, like Medusa. A lot of humans have a grudge against Eclipsa ever since she took over the throne. Some so bad that they'd rather mummify themselves than help Star and Marco find the culprit. Which in turn allows Star and Marco to raid their shop to find the culprit.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Did I say culprit? I meant culprits. Plural.
Can't lock them all up. Can we?
I guess the box of truth was unavailable for a trial.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Or the medium way. Or the semi-medium easy hard way. Or the sort of hard with a touch of awkward easy difficult.
So none of them actually cop to it, but none of them are sorry about it either. Gee, Star, isn't it wonderful that you decided to sacrifice your chance to get the hell away from all of this to serve these fuckwits? I don't know what's stupider. That? Or the fact that Eclipsa lets them all go anyway. Look, she does make some good points about the fact that she did upend their lives, and they're having a very tough time adjusting to the new regime, but at the same time, one of these jackasses tried to poison you. I think people would be understanding if you wanted to throw them to the wolves.
If I locked up everyone who hated me, there'd be no one left.
There is logic in what he says.
Yeah, but again, there's a difference between people not liking you and people wanting to fucking kill you. You're an idiot, aren't you? You know, this episode helped me realize that a lot of the problems that were caused by Eclipsa taking the throne could have been averted if Eclipsa hadn't been so quick to kick the humans out of the homes they stole from the monsters. Just saying. Also, congratulations, Moon! You did such a great job as queen doing everything for your people that none of them ever learned how to take care of themselves. Way to go! To be fair though, what's not your fault is just how obnoxiously annoying these bastards are. Like, holy shit! No wonder Moon fucking snaps!
Leave! I have had it with you! Leave now! Leave! Leave now! Leave!
Careful, Moon, your Azula is showing. I stand corrected. Now your Azula is showing. I will say, I think the episode does a decent enough job of showcasing the troubles that the humans are going through now that Eclipsa has taken the throne and they've been thrown out of their homes that were originally in the hands of the monsters. It really does go to show just how fucked up the dichotomy of the structure of the monarchy was. That Moon basically took care of everyone and nobody ever had to think for themselves until now. I just wish that the family we interacted with in this episode weren't such obnoxious little tools.
We're new to these parts.
Go away! Star, are you ever going to learn that if you ever want help in helping someone else, Ponyhead is the worst character to call upon?
This is a train wreck. Ponyhead is crazy. Why do I always forget that?
You know, being self-aware that you're bad doesn't make you less bad, just means that you don't care that you're bad.
It's a pity because the idea of them using social media to help Eclipsa broaden her reach to her people so she can get on their good side is actually not a bad idea, but it becomes such a clusterfuck of stupidity and incompetence that I can't really get behind it. Once again, Ponyhead and her sister show just how much better everything in life would be if they would just stay the hell out of everything. Although Eclipsa's musical number at the end of the episode is pretty kick-ass, I'll give it that. It's one of the better things to come out of this season, if I'm being honest. It so deserved a much better episode.
It's over? I never got to show off my dad's recipe for tortas ahogadas.
First of all, those look like regular sloppy joes. Second of all,
who the hell cares?
Say, Star, how do you feel being the Shadow Queen of Muni? I mean, you're obviously the one running the show since Eclipsa's too busy doing dumb shit to care. Like when the spider bites, the only kingdom to actually consider an alliance with the former Queen of Darkness, come over to talk politics, she's too busy— Wait a sec, back up. I thought the dimension was called Muni. Is it the Kingdom of Muni or the Dimension of Muni? How does this world work again? Look, Star, I know you're under a shit ton of pressure, and I don't mean to add to it, but you would think that you would do just a little more research into Eclipsa's backstory, her history, before you jump into political discussions like this.
Why is all the tableware covered in Globgorian horror parties? No, this is just cute monster decoration. Oh.
Boy, you might be legally retarded.
Wait, it gets worse.
Then there's this artwork you showed us. Did you even read the label?
Lady, it's a miracle she can dress herself.
And the cold, unfeeling stare of Globgor, subtitled, "He will eat you."
Okay, now you're just shoving it into our face for no good reason. Oh, wait, there's more?
Globgor's army burns Spiderbite Village to the ground. And that dance you showed us is a tribute to Globgor eating my great-great-grand-uncle Shastakan.
And nothing of value was lost. Look, I know that Eclipsa is the queen and this is technically her responsibility, but holy crap, Star dropped the fucking ball here. Hi, Eclipsa! Congratulations, you've ruined everything.
Eclipsa! Star, what do you think you're doing up here? Well, I was just— I'm sorry, did you just say I'm avoiding an important meeting with the Spider-Bites?
Oh no, that was today.
You were literally too stupid to insult.
You know, the idea of feeding us information about Globgor potentially being evil is actually not a bad idea. Keyword, idea.
I also didn't know that Globgor ate Shastakan?
The truth is a little more complex than that, but yes, he did.
Yeah, this is never brought up or revisited in any way whatsoever ever again. Spoilers! Like, no, I'm not even joking. This is never mentioned again. Not even in the episode later this season that focuses exclusively on Globgor and Eclipsa. You know what really would have been interesting? To find out why Globgor ate Shastakan. We already know Shastakan wanted nothing to do with their daughter Meteora. Maybe that played a part in it. Maybe Globgor found out that Shastakan dumped her, and in retaliation, he ate him. Maybe that's why Globgor was crystallized. It would have added yet another layer of complexity to the storyline, and the show doesn't even bother with it. I don't get it. At the very least, seeing Globgor crystallize makes them change their tune and decide to have an alliance with Muni after all. And what was Eclipsa doing that wasted so much time?
I was looking for the Book of Spells. I need to learn magic that will help my kingdom.
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit.
Okay, so assuming that Questby is not actually a part of Muni and it's its own separate dimension, what happens to it now that it's closed? And by closed, I mean out of business closed. Also, be careful what you wish for, Allegoria or whatever.
Whoa, how did we not see all those cages?
Please don't make me play the clip again.
I'm really gonna miss Questby. We have got so many memories here.
Yeah, it's a shame it's gonna be wiped from existence.
Oh, so that's what's gonna happen. Makes sense. Still depressing as fuck, though. Sad news to report today, as Tad, Kelly's on-again, off-again boyfriend, is in fact not dead. No, apparently he's moved on from Kelly. And takes no shame in bragging about the fact that he's moved on from Kelly, clearly showing that he has not, in fact, moved on from Kelly. And to tell you the truth, Kelly's in kind of a fucked up depressive state right now. It's kind of sad to see. But it's okay, we might have a new ship on the horizon in the form of Kelko. Holy shit, that's so stupid. The name of the ship, not the ship itself. I actually don't mind this pairing too much. I'll go into more detail as the video goes along, but the problems I see with Seasons 3 and especially Season 4 is not that there are bad ideas. Oh, there are bad ideas here, but the problem isn't that all the ideas are bad. There's just too many ideas introduced that don't get the time they need to be properly fleshed out. So all of this just seems rushed. And considering that the crew apparently knew ahead of time that Season 4 would be the last season, it's doubly hilarious how this is the case. Oh, but wait, there's still a problem. You see, this ship can't happen because Marco apparently still has feelings for Star. I guess he's just as much of an idiot as she is. Okay, to be completely fair, my complaints with this moment really have nothing to do with this episode in particular. It's more directed towards the very next episode. Hey kids, do you remember the blood moon? That thing from season 1? Well, we're finally bringing it back. A mere 100 episodes later. And yes, I counted. I called the next episode a dumpster fire in my season 1 video, and I do stand by that, but I will concede that that fact has very little to do with the actual episode itself. It's more everything encompassing the episode. And I will do my very best to explain what exactly I mean by that, because, yeah, it's about to get messy. This is going to be a tricky episode to talk about, so I'll start here. The concept of the episode is not a bad idea on its face. The idea that some outside magical force could be forcing Star and Marco to have feelings for each other is kind of an icky one, so obviously undoing that would be the right thing to do. The problem is, there is way too much ambiguity here. The way the storyline and this episode is presented, it is never 100% clear if the blood moon is in fact responsible for Star and Marco having romantic feelings for each other. While I'm sure this was likely done to keep the mystery going, what it unintentionally ends up doing is making this episode and the blood moon concept feel kind of pointless. I'm skipping ahead, but Marco says later on that he's been in love with Star since the beginning, as in the beginning of the series, I assume. Ignoring the obvious continuity errors with that statement, what this statement ends up doing is making the blood moon concept completely 100% pointless. This is a red herring. And while I get the idea behind this, making Star and Marco's love for each other be stronger than any sort of magic, it ends up feeling like we wasted our time with this concept. Now let's assume for a moment that the blood moon was in fact responsible for their romantic feelings for each other, and then they go to break the curse, that's it, it's done, feelings are gone. The episode that Star and Marco actually get together in, Here to Help, is 21 episodes away from this episode. That means the show has 21 episodes left to establish a solid, legitimate romantic relationship between Star and Marco. That's not a lot of time. Now it can be done, certainly. But does it? Not really, I don't know. Now, let's assume that the blood moon was not responsible for their romantic feelings for each other. Congratulations! You just wasted a fuck ton of our time. This is why I wish the blood moon had done something different. You know how Marco can use Star's wand in the episode Deep Dive? What if that was because of his connection to her soul? Yeah, it probably conflicts with other parts of the show's lore, but it would have been a hell of a lot more interesting than what we actually got. Yeah, because ignoring all the ways it fucks up the continuity and lore of the show, let's look at this episode on its own merits. It kinda sucks. It's 22 minutes and holy shit, you feel every single second of it. There is so much padding in this episode, it's marvelous. It wouldn't be so much of a problem if the padding was actually funny or interesting, but it's not. Everyone just kinda derps around waiting for the next plot point to happen. There's also two other things in this episode I specifically want to talk about. The first is this scene.
Relicore says he came to the Severing Stone once before, thousands of years ago. Because he wanted to sever his soul from my great-grandma, but to do so, he had to sacrifice the memory of the moment they first fell in love. Now he can never have that memory back.
Why is the story we're given one of sorrow and disappointment? If we're supposed to be convinced that this is the absolute right thing to do, shouldn't the story be more uplifting or at least bittersweet? Because Relicore looks completely heartbroken here. The other scene I wanted to point out? This one.
When's the next blood moon?
Around 665 years from now. Oh, right. You don't live that long.
I have several questions.
So the original curse said it happens every 667 years. So this would mean it's been at least 2 years since that episode, which is fine, except it's not. First of all, for that to work, the Halloween episode in Season 2 would have to be canon, except a writer from the show claimed that it's not canon. Which in itself is idiotic because there's no reason why it couldn't just be in the timeline for Season 3. Have it take place in Season 3 before the Lava Lake Beach episode. But yeah, for this to be canon, that would mean that Star and Marco are currently 16, but in show, they're confirmed to be 15. Gee, it's almost like having a solid, coherent timeline in a story-based show is actually important.
What time is it?
The Blood Moon dance scene between Star and Marco is the best part of the episode, but that's like saying the best part of an Oreo cookie is the creamy middle. It kinda goes without saying. I don't know if I call this the best episode of the season, but it's certainly up there, and it's definitely one of my favorites. Are Dennis and Ludo episodes really that good, or is the rest of the season just infuriating me so much that I'm looking for anything? This episode's topic is about leaving the past behind and making a better future for yourself, and I think that's a very important topic to address. And I think Ludo is the perfect character to use for this topic. See, Dennis has bought the family castle back so him and Ludo can make new memories there, but Ludo is convinced that the old memories he's had there are far too painful to ever go back. Oh, but if that weren't bad enough, turns out Dennis actually got screwed over.
Dennis, you just signed away our entire family fortune and our ancestral home to this rat!
I didn't know. I guess I just never expected to be double-crossed.
You're an idiot.
But that's okay, because here comes Ludo to save the day, in one of my personal favorite moments from him from this series. Also off topic, but this scene actually made me realize why I didn't like Ludo's character design in the first season. His eyes were too small. Yeah, really. The beard also helps things, though. Oh look, I guess they brought their entire family over to the new castle with them. Except for the mom and dad. Good! Fuck those two pieces of shit! Okay, seriously, Ludo and Dennis focused spin-off when? This episode's actually a difficult one to talk about. Not that it's bad, it's just I don't know what angle to come at it from. So I'll start here. This episode brings Meena Loveberry back into the fold. She is the antagonist of the final season. She is a terrible main antagonist, for one specific reason. You can't have a pinky without a brain. The dynamic just doesn't work. Meena is just not a strong enough character to carry the antagonistic side all by herself. I think Meena is a good secondary antagonist, but as the leading woman, she just doesn't work. And I'll get to Moon's role in all of this as the video goes on, but now I want to get to the part of the episode that I actually want to complain about.
You were right, River. It isn't my job to take care of everyone. Eclipsa is queen now, and that means she'll just have to deal with Meena on her own.
You do understand that your own daughter is still with Eclipsa, right? You know, your own flesh and blood. The person that actually turned the throne over to Eclipsa while you were off gallivanting with pies? Yeah, Moon doesn't mention Star here at all, and River doesn't bring it up either. If I didn't know better, I'd say this was actually secretly retaliation from Moon against Star for turning the throne. Actually, wait, how do we know that it's not retaliation? Leaving Eclipsa alone is one thing, but you're not going to warn your own daughter? What the fuck is wrong with you? Congratulations, Moon Butterfly. Your credibility is officially in the crap.
You done fucked it up!
And believe it or not, this is still not rock bottom for her character. But believe me, we are getting there. What's really sad about this is that the basic concept of the episode, Moon learning that she's not in fact responsible for taking care of literally everyone anymore, is not a bad one. It's a decent lesson, and I think Moon's character is perfect for it, but between this episode's ending and with how Moon's character eventually evolves, this episode is rendered completely worthless, because it's invalidated completely by the rest of the season. Way to go, guys. Good job. So if the idea was to mix and match the monsters and humans to form entirely new teams, why are they all already wearing colored uniforms? Who the fuck's the color coordinator of this league, and where's the cannon I can use to fire them out of it? Also, these scenes depicting Kelly and Marco acting like an actual couple? I hope you enjoy them, because this is the only episode after Kelly's World where they are seen acting like a couple together. No. Seriously. So a ship that's been teased since the middle of Season 3, finally realized in the middle of Season 4, gets a singular episode where they act like a couple together. And barely for 2 minutes. This episode also shows just how truly inept Eclipsa is as a leader of a kingdom.
Show Buffrog how much you care about monster-human unity.
What? Oh, I'm sorry, dear. I'm afraid I'm still looking for Meteora. I don't want her running off on her own if a brawl breaks out.
I had such high hopes for you.
Eclipsa is a good mother, but a terrible leader. Strangely enough, Moon had the exact opposite problem. She was a great leader, but a terrible mother. But yeah, this episode pretty much cements Star as the Shadow Queen of the kingdom. Real nice. At the very least, Buffrog is inspired to return to the kingdom with his children. And you know what? I'm glad. I always liked them.
But the adults are still angry with each other.
Our generation is garbage, but the little ones, they might turn out okay.
But Eclipsa and Meteora are canonically over 300 years old. Buffrog, you suck at math. You also might be wondering what exactly cornball is. Well, it's basically the F games, only a lot stupider. Next! Decent concept, decent execution, just an all-around decent episode. Although it does raise a lot of questions about the show's ability to handle its own lore. For example, why is Meteora, a baby, getting lessons from Glossaric now, when Star couldn't get lessons until she was 14? Or at least that's what the show implied. I do appreciate the show and what it tries to give us in terms of lore in this episode, except for the fact that most of what's introduced in this episode is never really expanded on again.
A long time ago arrived the first settlers of Muni. A modest people with noble pursuits, life, liberty, and corn. The end.
Oh, you stink!
Wait a sec, is this not the definition of a time paradox here? What's happening?
It just raises too many questions.
There's also the problem that this episode is retroactively ruined by what happens later on in the season, and I'm still annoyed by that. Why is Meteora being taught how to dip down when she's not even old enough to have the wand yet? Meanwhile, Moon couldn't learn how to dip down until she was 19, and Star when she was 14 when she only had the wand for a few months.
What the hell's going on?
Marco.
This isn't funny!
Hey, look, they finally followed up on that Marco wants to be a knight thing. By making him not want to be a knight. Wait, what?
I'm gonna have to turn knighthood down.
What?
Oh, but it's not because I don't love hanging out with you. I just can't stay on Muni forever.
I just want to remind you all once again that Marco gave up a relationship he worked 10 years for, had for 3 months, blew it all sky high just to come to Muni. What were you planning to do again? Apparently the other knights aren't happy about this and they kidnap him to teach him a lesson. And then he promptly beats the shit out of all of them. You know guys, maybe if you didn't threaten to burn the cape that Star gave him as a knight gift, he wouldn't be doing this to you. I feel sorry for none of you fuckheads.
This has been fun.
All right, you win. You win. You may leave if you wish.
Frankly, after this horse shit, I don't know why Marco would want to stay at all. There's also this weird thing where Star is apparently offended at the prospect of Marco leaving Muni for Earth. And all of this is just making me question exactly how much brain damage Star has sustained throughout the course of the series. So, you claim you don't want to date Marco, you're dating Tom, and yet you deluded yourself into thinking that Marco would never want to leave your side on Muni? You really are fucking dumb, lady. We're also denied a badass moment from Star as she originally plans to go after Marco thinking he's been kidnapped but not actually knowing he was kidnapped, and then she decides to abandon it. Yeah. Good friendship there.
I'm really sorry for being a pill earlier. It's gonna be so weird when you go back to Earth.
You guys realize this girl's apologized more for getting mad at Marco for wanting to leave Muni than she did for cheating on Tom. Seriously, this girl's not right in the head.
Please seek some counseling.
Oh, look. Marco made Star her own cape, and the two middle pieces on them form the shape of a heart in this angle. It's almost like the show is trying to tell us something about this. Like it's aware of how painfully slow it's dragging its feet across the line with this relationship. But will continue to do so because the chart says we have to prolong this as long as physically possible. I would say the way they've handled this will they won't they romance story has become embarrassing, but honestly I think we crossed that line a while back.
You blew it.
Star, when is it going to sink in for you that Ponyhead is nothing but a bother and a nuisance in your life? This time, instead of utilizing Eclipsa as the star of her web show, I guess it is, they decided to just outright kidnap her. Absolutely brilliant.
The humans may hate Eclipsa, but there is no problem a good drama can't fix.
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit.
Yeah, I'm with Bill Nye here. This feels more like a step 2 than a step 1. I get what they're trying to do, but here's the problem. Remember the last time that Eclipsa interacted with human public herself? Was the episode where someone tried to fucking poison her. They outright despised her there. And we really haven't seen in show the gradual efforts to get the humans on Eclipsa's side. It's like we jumped from that episode to them despising her, to this episode to them now liking her, apparently? There's no build-up.
Yeah, I have a question. How bad should I feel about this? Because I do not feel bad right now.
6.5 hours later.
No one messes with our queen. There she is. Hey,
Great continuity.
I wanted to like this episode, but I can't. There was something off about the way the characters interacted with each other in this episode. even worse so than Curse of the Blood Moon. And the best way I can describe it is...
It's almost like you all hate each other.
I mean, to an extent, it's understandable that the Magic High Commission hates Eclipsa, they think she's evil, and vice versa, why Eclipsa hates the Magic High Commission. But I don't know, the whole thing just doesn't feel earned. Some of the characters feel like they got decimated. For example, Tom is completely beside himself and literally unable to function in society without Star by his side. He is constantly on his phone. Conversely, Star doesn't feel like she wants to be at this important meeting with Eclipsa, and she's constantly on her phone. And wow, I just realized how annoying that is for teachers in school to see their students on their phones. So the Star and Eclipsa plot involves the Magic High Commission relaying information to them where they claim that they've discovered some incredibly powerful magic being used somewhere, and oh my god, it's totally Moon, isn't it? So they never actually outright confirm this, but considering where the season goes and where Moon's character goes, there's literally nobody else that it could be that's causing this magic disturbance. Of course, the Magic High Commission all automatically assume that it's Eclipsa's fault, because, God forbid, we forget that they're actual characters and not one-note mouthpieces. Meanwhile, Tom's plot is just him learning how to have a good day for himself without Star there. Honestly, if there was better writing here, this could have had potential to be one of Tom's greatest character moments, especially with what comes later on in the season. As it is, though, it's not terrible, but I was nowhere near as invested this time around as I was when it originally came out. And there is one massive reason for it. This episode has a crap ton of filler and padding. Padding is not automatically a bad thing, because sometimes scenes and episodes need levity, especially when they're trying to go for a more serious tone, like this show has in its 4th season. Problem is, you still need that levity to be engaging in some sort of way. Either it adds to the story in some way, or it provides some comic relief. When you don't get either of those in your padding, then it just feels completely pointless, frustrating, and it does nothing but annoy your audience. See, look at this! This scene lasted almost 30 full seconds, and the majority of it was Tom texting on his fucking phone. And it's not even the only scene in the episode that does this. There's actually so little plot in this episode that it legitimately blows my mind. And then there's the ending, which I think sent me over the edge.
We got up to some serious weirdness. I almost died.
Aw, I didn't know you were actually gonna go out and do stuff. That makes you so much more attractive to me.
Fuck yeah!
I don't have to explain why this line doesn't work, do I? It's basically a Scooby-Doo episode, but with the spells standing in for the Scooby-Doo characters. It's not very interesting. I would definitely be a lot more tolerable of this episode if I actually liked the other 2 previous spell-centered episodes that we got, but I really don't. If you liked them, you'll like this episode just fine, but I didn't, so I don't. The only thing you really need to take from this episode is the spell with no name, because that's going to come back into play later in the season. So I personally think that the show kind of botched Tom's character arc throughout Season 4, and I'm going to try to explain why now. In his previous appearance, Junk and Jana, Tom is shown as completely clingy as hell and dependent on Star to be able to function, but because she's so busy, he ends up spending the entire episode with Jana. Now, had the writing for this season been better, this could have been a perfect opportunity for Tom to question what he actually wants in a romantic relationship. Maybe he realizes he actually had a fun day with Jana. Maybe he realizes he enjoys himself more with Jana and feels more comfortable with her than he ever did with Star. He could learn that ultimately his own happiness is dependent on his choices and what he wants to do. And this episode could have been a perfect complement to that. It could have further cemented this exploration of his character arc. Make him fully embrace the idea that ultimately his happiness is dependent on himself. He cannot rely on a romantic partner to be happy. Unfortunately, the show never actually does anything with that idea. So this episode and Junk and Jana feel like standalones that don't actually contribute to Tom's character arc. I'm not going to say this is a blatant flaw, because obviously this situation can be open to interpretation, but I will say I think it's a big missed opportunity, and I don't take too much of an issue with it. At least not nearly as much as I take an issue with this!
My breakup buddy broke up with me.
What?
Things were super amicable.
What the hell's going on?
So, let me get this straight. After all the build-up that you gave us, teasing Kelly and Marco as a romantic couple, after you emphasized the idea that Star and Marco had to break the Blood Moon curse just so Marco could have a relationship with her and Star could have a relationship with Tom, you pull this? And I know what you want to do right now. You want to stop the video, go back, rewatch the episodes, or check the Wikipedia pages to see when exactly Kelly and Marco broke up. Well, here's a fun fact for you. They broke up off screen!
Fucking what?
Look, I'm pro Starco all of the way, so I'm not offended that Kelly and Marco broke up. I'm offended that they broke up off screen. You've been teasing this relationship since the middle of season 3. We get one episode, with them officially as a couple, the episode Cornball. And now we don't even get to see them break up? For crying out loud! Jackie at least got to break up with Marco off screen!
You're my best friend, Jackie.
No, you're not.
Oh, Marco. We both know that's not true.
Is it me? Am I in the minority here? Because I can't imagine that I'm alone here. Even if you ship Starco or Jarko die hard, like you don't care about Kelko as a relationship. This is a dick move. I'm sorry. What's even more frustrating about this is that despite the dialogue, it's very clear, both in Kelly's delivery and mannerisms, that the breakup was not amicable. What the fuck did you do, Marco?
My breakup buddy broke up with me. Yeah, that's why I only date the dummies.
Because the smart peoples probably have restraining orders against you, you vapid bitch.
Be careful, Tom. Being breakup buddies isn't all it's cracked up to be.
You know, those bits and scenes from this episode were so frustrating that I haven't even yet gotten into the main plot of the episode. So apparently Marco, Kelly, Hekapu, and Hekapu's friend Talon from the episode Nightlight, they have this dragon cycle gang of sorts, and Tom wants to join. That's really it. You know, ignoring all the bullshit that I brought up about this episode, it's perfectly fine. It's enjoyable. It's a filler episode. Maybe it shouldn't be here, but for what it is, it's not bad. There are some good teachable moments here, and it is nice to see Tom starting to find his own way. It's just unfortunate that none of this actually means anything.
Hey, Tom! Not sure what just happened, but I'll come back to pick you up.
That's cool, Marco. I have my own way.
Speak up! Nobody can hear you! Or just go see a goddamn doctor.
Hey, Dad!
Honestly, it's one of the better episodes of the season. I still like the Dennis and Ludo focused episode better, but this is a very close second. If there's one thing that this season really needed, it was to give more development to Globgor. Because in all honesty, this episode and the next episode, Coordination, are the only two episodes where Globgor actually gets anything to do. No, seriously, this season is basically centered around Globgor and Eclipsa's story, and yet Globgor barely gets any screen time this season. Basically, in this episode, Eclipsa uses a spell to go into Globgor's mind so she can spend a day with him. All because neither of them really think it's time for Globgor to come out of the crystal prison yet. It's honestly incredibly sweet. Except for the part where it turns out Eclipsa went into Star's mind to steal the spell that she needed to do this.
How did you even know it was there?
I may have gone inside your mind.
I don't even know how to respond to this.
You know, Eclipsa, not for nothing, but maybe this shit that you keep pulling is why Star doesn't completely trust you.
Eclipsa, why don't you ever worry about what your people think?
My people? They haven't even given me a proper coronation.
Should I talk slower or go get a nurse who speaks fluent moron?
You know, I adore Eclipsa as a character just as much as the next guy, but she can be just as oblivious to the world around her as Star can. So because of this bullshit, Star elects to throw Eclipsa her very own coronation all by herself, thinking that that will help finally convince Eclipsa to do right by the kingdom.
That's right. Then they'll have to accept you, and you will have to lead them. Maybe then you'll think twice before you get up to all this witchy stuff again.
Because everyone knows that the best way to reward a child for not doing what they're told or throwing a temper tantrum is to give them exactly what they want. Star Butterfly, Mother of the Year!
Idiot! I know what it's like to miss someone when you love them. You do crazy things.
You know the answer, just say it!
Does anyone actually buy that Star is talking about Tom in this quote? Because I sure as hell don't. So, you're all but admitting in name that you're in love with Marco here. You're self-aware enough to understand that you're in love with Marco and not Tom, but you're not self-aware enough to actually do anything about it until it's too late. You know, not for nothing, but I can't really feel sorry for your plight anymore because at this point it's your own motherfucking fault. Dumbass. Once again, you had the ample opportunity to get away from all of this and do what you wanted to do, but you chose not to, so take your lumps. Also, sorry Eclipsa, you still don't qualify for that free smoothie.
No, it's supposed to say coronation. Ugh, Marco, you were supposed to spell check the invitation.
Oh, shut up, that's brilliant. You're just mad that you didn't think of it first.
Look, this will be the last thing I do for Eclipsa. Seriously, after this, I am out. I just want to be a teen again. I don't even know what teens do anymore. Like, do they jet ski? Do scrapbook? What do they do?
Oh, Star, you've grown up so much.
Oh.
Your devotion to the kingdom is truly commendable.
Unlike mine, which I completely pissed away along with any credibility I still had. So yeah, it's Eclipsa's coronation day. And Globgor gets out.
Eclipsa, what have you done?
Spoilers, it's not Eclipsa. I'll give you one guess to who it actually was. So yeah, Globgor is out, and there's a pretty intense fight scene between him and the Magic High Commission. And I'm on Globgor's side here.
Star, please. I don't want to see you get hurt.
Then you could get off your lazy ass and actually help her. And no, I don't care that you're not royalty anymore and you're trying to be neutral. She's your fucking daughter! So yeah, the Magic High Commission conspired to release Globgor from his prison and frame Eclipsa so they could crystallize her again. And yes, I know I said Romulus was the one that crystallized her because he has the power. But there's no way in hell the other two members weren't involved. Hey, remember when the Magic High Commission members were actual characters with actual personalities and actual arcs? Yeah, neither do I!
Think about it! Eclipsa's gonna let Globgor out of his crystal on her coronation day? That doesn't make any sense!
Actually, no, that is something I could completely believe Eclipsa would do. She is kinda selfish and, let's face it, kinda stupid. I said I could believe it, not that I did believe it.
Alright, I did it! I let him out so you could see what a monster he really is!
Yeah, that's funny, cause he didn't do anything but try and get away from you.
And this, kids, is what we call harassment.
I'm free, but I can't stay here. These people are afraid of me.
But they're afraid of you. Why are they still here?
Magical High Commission is officially declaring a state of emergency. All residents of Uni must remain in their seats until further notice.
If they're afraid of you, why are they still here?
All residents of Uni must remain in their seats until further notice.
Why are they still here?
All residents of Uni must remain in their seats.
Why are they?
All residents of
I don't understand! I don't understand! I don't understand! I don't understand!
You guys know that proofreading your scripts before going to animation is not optional, right?
Continuity!
Jokes aside, I do have to say this is one of the better episodes of Season 4. It has good action, it has good drama, the stakes are pretty dang high, and given that Globgor is ultimately accepted finally by the Muni people, it does feel like a closure of the racism arc that the show has been doing since the end of the Toffee arc in Season 3. Which means Star is finally free from her self-inflicted hell! Just don't put too much stock in Romulus getting arrested here. Trust me, it'll save you a lot of outrage. I certainly won't call Coronation my ideal series finale for the show, but if this had been the last episode and where the series had stopped, it wouldn't have been that bad of a note to go out on. Of course, the show did not end at this episode, and unfortunately, a common note I hear is that this is where everything starts to fall apart for the show. And I can understand why. Does it? Let's take a look.
That's right, a talent show!
Oh, hold on, Marco. We are artists. We can't just put on a talent show with no preparation.
I'm ready!
Dude, what are you giving her that look for? You married her, you knew what you were signing up for. Congratulations, Star Butterfly! You have successfully completed your mission as Eclipsa's royal advisor, getting her to be accepted by the populace without losing all of your fucking marbles. What are you going to do next?
I'm going to Escalator Land!
It seems that everyone is going their separate ways. Marco and Jana are returning to... Wait, stop the footage.
Stop the film.
Promise you'll visit all the time.
I will.
So I get that Star and Tom are off on a lengthy vacation across the multiverse, so they're not going to be in Muni. But Marco promised to visit Star all the time. Why are you keeping the dimensional scissors that he would need to fucking accomplish that?
You're an idiot.
But yeah, Tom is ready to take Star on a much needed and well-earned vacation. At least that's the idea. Unfortunately, the episode is wasted on Star saying goodbye to lots of people in her life on Muni, which isn't on its own a bad idea. The problem is the framing. Allow me to explain. So at the end of the episode, Star tells Tom straight up that she doesn't actually want to go on the trip with him.
I'm really excited to not be a princess. And now that Muni doesn't need me, now that I'm free, I think I need time to figure things out.
Bull fucking shit.
Star spent so much fucking time being consumed by doing right by her kingdom, dedicating all of her energy, time, towards making Muni a better place, a more equal place for monsters and humans. She spent so much time doing that, she didn't have the wherewithal to think of literally anything else. That's why her personal life's gone to shit. She pretty much said as much in Coronation.
I don't even know what teens do anymore. Like, do they jet ski? The scrapbook?
So honestly, this is a really good direction to take for Star's character arc. Of course they fuck it up.
You done fucked it up!
The first problem is at no point during this episode, or even the episode prior where Tom suggests the trip, does Star hesitate for even a second about going on this trip with him. She is completely, 100% excited to go until the end of the episode. So this literally comes out of nowhere. When you're so focused on your story and your continuity, every little detail matters. If you wanted to do this right, you needed to show Star have doubts from the start about wanting to go with Tom. And hell, there's such an easy fix that I'm surprised the show didn't do it. Parallel scent of a hoodie. Parallel the goodbye between Star and Marco, and have that be the catalyst for Star beginning to doubt her wanting to go with Tom. I mean, for fuck's sake, she ends up going to Earth anyway, so this would just be an even better setup for that payoff. But no, that does not happen. Instead, we get a bunch of stupidity. Hey, remember when the show said that the Whispering Spell was the first spell that Star's mother taught her? Yeah, apparently the show doesn't. Meet Star's actual first spell, voiced by Lemongrass.
Unacceptable! Hey, buddy! Ah, Doop. What's new?
Oh, Star! Oh, well, nothing's new since you abandoned me in here. Roasting in the sun all these years?
Yeah, pretty hot, huh?
I have so many questions!
I have nothing. Was this supposed to be a joke? Am I supposed to find this funny? I don't. Not even ironically. It's filler, but not even entertaining filler. It's just stupid. And that's not even getting into the narrative implications that this scene implies. Why did Star leave this spell to rot here in the shed under the hot sun for so many years? If the Whispering Spell was the first spell her mother taught her, how was this the first spell that Star actually cast? How could she cast a spell if she didn't have the wand until she was 14 and didn't learn how to dip down until after that? And
it just raises too many questions.
But yeah, Star tells Tom she doesn't want to go on the trip with him because she needs time to figure things out, and naturally he's upset.
Oh, I wish you would have told me this sooner.
Oh, Tom, please, don't be upset.
No, not upset. I don't want to pressure you or anything.
Oh, you are upset. I can tell.
Okay, I'm upset, but I'm allowed to be.
You're goddamn motherfucking right you're allowed to be. Why are you going kowtow to this girl that won't even apologize for cheating on you? And no, I am not letting this go.
You don't have to go.
What the fuck did you mean by that? Just because you don't want to go doesn't mean he's not allowed to go? You really are an idiot, aren't you, Star? All of the bullshit aside, though, it was nice to see the reunion scene between Star and Marco and his family. That was sweet. And we got our first look at Mariposa, Marco's baby sister.
Meet Mariposa, my new baby sister.
Sister? I thought you were getting a brother.
For how much money these doctors charge, you think they would be much better at their jobs.
If you want to hold it against the show that it's now a baby sister, when it was teased as a baby brother in Season 3, I won't blame you. I will say, though, at least they bothered to make a fucking joke out of it. I do have to admit, it was kind of nice to see all the Earth characters again for one last hurrah. It's too bad that this is a glorified filler episode at best. Though, credit where credit's due, they do use this opportunity to give some much better closure to the Jackie-Marco relationship.
You want chips on the side?
And hey, look at this! Jackie has a girlfriend now! You know what? Good for her. I'm happy. I just wish that this girlfriend had more than one episode of significance.
I was in the bathroom, thinking about life, and it dawned on me. Marco, you were a terrible boyfriend to Jackie. And you're Jackie.
At this point, Mr. Reynolds, I'm convinced you have a learning disability.
What?
Nothing. You're just the best. Look, as boyfriends go, you were pretty standard. But you always knew how to make me laugh.
Standard? You're not just saying that?
My friend, that is not a compliment. The scene basically ends with Jackie endorsing Star and Marco getting together, because everyone and their grandmother at this point thinks that they're the most logical couple. Except Dumb and Dumber over here. In fact, the only reason that these two haven't gotten together yet is because they have a combined IQ of
7. 7? Yeah, 7.
The more I think about it, the more I think the original Beach Day reveal was pretty awkward. Remember, it was in the very first episode of this season, in the middle of an arc that saw Star desperately trying to find her missing mother. Think about it. What if the reveal never happened? What if we went into this episode, have it play out exactly as it does, and then this scene happens? Wouldn't this be more dramatic, more surprising? I certainly think so. But before we trek any further, I have to once again point out a sloppy, careless continuity error. So this weird lady that's introduced for literally this one episode comes by and asks to take a photo of Star and Marco together. Yes, this is supposed to be the Beach Day photo that was prophesized about. Except there's one fucking problem.
No way.
It's the beach day photo!
How?
Please, for the love of God, tell me I don't have to spell it out for you guys? Oh, who am I kidding? I'm going to do it. Where's the fucking bra? Look, it's not even like this one thing destroys the narrative of the episode or anything. And these are people that will forever have more talent in their pinky toes than I will ever have in my body, even if you clone me 5 times. But come on, this is just sloppy.
Continuity!
But now it's time to go over this scene in the episode.
Hey, father time! Why am I not happy?
I'm no psychiatrist, but I'm pretty sure that's called depression.
I thought beach day was supposed to be the best day of my life, and everything would be figured out, and then I could just live happily ever after or whatever.
Hey, that's what we call stupidity. Yeah, so it turns out that Star's the one that gave her past self the beach day photo in the hopes that it would help keep her motivated to keep trucking through life when shit hits the fan. I have no goddamn clue if this makes any sense, but I am going nowhere near it.
Beach day was a lie?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Some days, knowing I'd be this happy was the only thing that kept me going.
Lady, you are not happy, and you have not been for a long goddamn time. I riff about shit like this, but let's be honest, if Star were a real person, she would need years of intensive therapy. Years!
Please seek some counseling.
Honestly, I think this episode best encapsulates the problem with a lot of the episodes in the second half of the show's run. They're placed awkwardly in the middle of very important and very engaging story arcs, so they kind of get less attention and less recognition. But I think, ignoring all of that, on their own, they're perfectly fine. Like this episode, it's enjoyable on its own. I can block out a lot of the story-based stuff and enjoy it for the most part. It's not fantastic by any means, but after 2 seasons full of intense story episode after story episode where you can cut the tension with a knife, it's just nice to have an episode that's very relaxing, very down-to-earth, no pun intended, where the stakes are relatively lower in comparison to those other episodes. And honestly, you should enjoy this episode and the next couple that are coming after this, because pretty soon, shit is going to hit the fan once again and we are going right into overdrive. Shame, these characters deserve a nice vacation. There's a couple things I want to talk about in this episode, so let's start with the main plot. And that's Meteor and Mariposa getting lost in the Never Zone, and Marco and Star having to go rescue them. I don't know what it is, but this show has a real talent for taking characters that you would think you would not want to see more of, and make me want to see spin-offs off of them. This time being Meteora and Mariposa in their teen forms. Seriously? Give me that show. You could put it in an hour block with the Ludo and Dennis show. There really isn't much more to say here, so now I want to pivot to the other thing I want to talk about.
I shouldn't even be telling you this, but I have a feeling some bad stuff is about to go down on Muni.
So I'm skipping ahead a bit, but later on in the season, it's revealed that the Magic High Commission, Hekapu included, have conspired with Meena in some capacity to aid her in her quest to kill all of the monsters. I'll go more into that as we go along, but the thing I want to highlight is the show seems to be trying, keyword trying, to paint Hekapu as the sympathetic one of the three. The one that quote-unquote changes her ways in the end. It doesn't work, but more to the point, why would you tell Marco this at all? If you want him to stay on Earth, why would you say anything at all? They have literally no reason to go to Muni. Star wants to stay as far away from that place as possible right now. She's on vacation. Was it reverse psychology? Did she actually want them to go to Muni? Why did Hekapoo leave open a portal right next to the baby's cribs? Did she want them to get trapped in the Never Zone, knowing that they would want to go to Earth after she talked to them? Was it a complete accident? None of this is explained!
That makes no fucking sense.
It really does feel like the show was trying to make Hekapoo the sympathetic member of the Magic High Commission, the one that learns her lesson. Problem is, they fucking failed at it. To be fair, it's more of a byproduct of how inconsistent the writing became in the latter half of the series, but yeah, that is a problem. One that's going to be exacerbated in the next few episodes. Bring 'em on! Congratulations, Mr. Lucifer! You have finally decided to use one of your remaining 4 brain cells to break up with Star.
Star? I think we should break up.
Why? Okay, I know I'm not the best girlfriend, but I'm definitely not the worst. You liar! I made you all this food, and I even got you a present. It's a super rare black and white cat named Mr. Panda Pants.
That sorta looks like Mr. Fluffy Pants. Did you steal Dr. Doofenshmirtz's cat?
Star, I appreciate the effort, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's not about what you do or what you don't do, it's about where you're headed. And you and me, we're headed to different places.
What does that even mean?
I'm probably in the minority for this, but it will forever piss me off that the fact that Star cheated on Tom with Marco in a photo booth and never apologized for it gets completely glossed over, and instead, Tom gives one of the most bullshit reasons for breaking up with her. And once again, the internal logic of the show fucks it up, because the internal logic of the show doesn't go anywhere near the idea that Tom is dissatisfied with his relationship with Star. I get the impression that Tom taking off for the trip by himself in the episode Doop Doop was supposed to be, quote, the straw that broke the camel's back, unquote. But again, it would have been nice to see that, because remember, in that episode, he was completely on board with going on a long trip alone with her, as was she until the very end. Once again, there is no proper build-up to this moment. It really feels like things happening for the sake of them happening, which would be fine if there wasn't an overarching storyline, but guess what? There is!
You done fucked it up!
Now, as for the episode proper, it's not great. It's 11 minutes of them derping around trying to arrive at the conclusion that they need to break up. It's trying to be funny, and there are a couple of laughs, but it's not doing too much for me. Also, their portal powers aren't working, but we'll come back to that in a bit. But really, it's this scene we have to talk about.
I know you don't like me anymore, but I
do still like you.
Why?
This is probably the hardest thing I've ever done. And being around you right now it's just like this huge reminder of how much I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, Tom, I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Oh, now you're sorry. Now. Not when you were called out for cheating on Tom. Now you're sorry. Now.
I bet you're the kind of guy that would fuck a person in the ass and not even have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
So, what do I think about Tom and Star actually breaking up? Well, I've made it clear throughout all of these videos that I am very pro-Starco, and I think, from a character perspective, Star and Marco make the most sense as a romantic couple. They feed off each other's energies extremely well. They have absolutely fantastic chemistry together, when the writing doesn't suck balls. And both have demonstrated an unwavering loyalty to one another. It honestly makes the most sense. That said, however, they did kind of fuck this up. For one, they tried to tie in Tom's relationship with Star into his character arc about overcoming his anger issues, and it almost worked, but not completely. And the big reason why is because they basically turned his character into a walking doormat. No, I still have not forgiven this show for making Tom not break up with Star after she got angry at him for calling her out for the booth kiss. There is just no way to justify that. The best that I can come up with is that Tom internally convinced himself that the kiss and her reaction to him calling her out on it after the fact was a byproduct of the Blood Moon curse. And if that was what they were going for, all I have to say is
bull fucking shit.
Because that's a character failure on Star's part, not a failure of anything else. But honestly, that's not even that important to this. No, the real problem is Tom here. It almost feels like they were trying to take two separate character arcs and mash them into one, and it doesn't entirely work. First, it being about Tom trying to overcome his anger issues so he can bring Star back into his life. Then trying to figure out what he actually wants to do with his life as he slowly starts to realize that he doesn't actually want to be in a relationship with her anymore. But once again, the problem with this, and honestly a problem with a lot of the things in the back half of the series, is that the build-up sucks. If you want to have an overarching character arc and have characters make decisions based on that arc, you need to plant seeds in the episodes leading up to that decision. Otherwise, you get situations where their decisions come right the hell out of nowhere, and that's what's happened here. The show also has an issue of pretending that certain plot points happen a certain way, even though it's blatantly obvious that the show is talking out of its own ass. For example, this scene.
I get it. It took me months to get over Jackie.
Yeah, but did it really?
Yes, it did.
That's the noise I make when somebody lies to me.
So that's why you left in a hurry for Muni after she dumped your ass. Yeah, you sure as hell were heartbroken over that relationship. We sure saw your internal struggles as you realized you done fucked up, didn't we? Spoilers, we didn't. Spoilers! You know, it wouldn't have actually been a bad character study to see Marco struggle internally with his decision to go back to Muni immediately after Jackie breaks up with him. Maybe Marco is actually depressed while he's on Muni. Maybe the stress of being a squire under Star, combined with knowing that he missed his chance and she got back together with him, sends him into an emotional tailspin. That would have been interesting. Unfortunately, that's not what happens. In fact, Jackie barely gets any mentions from the episode Sophomore Slump to the episode Britta's Tacos. Almost a whole season's worth of episodes, and she's barely brought up at all. And I've spent so much time talking about this horseshit that I still haven't even gotten to the other important part of the episode. So apparently Star and Tom in this episode lost the ability to create interdimensional portals. Now obviously this is in relation to the warning Hekapu gave Marco in the previous episode, except there's a problem. Hekapu is made of pure magic, no? Pure Muni magic? Tom is a demon. His demon powers are not connected to Muni magic. Does this not imply that there are more than one kinds of magic in the multiverse? How can Hekapu control the ability for non-magical beings to make portals if she herself is only pure Muni magic? Also, since she doesn't technically control all of the dimensional scissors she hands out after she hands them out, how can she actually control their ability to create portals?
Don't ask questions you aren't prepared to handle the answer to!
Don't hold your breath on this making sense anytime soon. Oh yeah, apparently Angie and Raphael dated and broke up a lot. I have to bring that up because it's the only semblance of enjoyability in this episode. Hey, remember when Janice showed up in Out of Business completely out of the blue? Well, apparently the show did too, and it's following up on that. So I forgot to mention that in the previous episode, everyone thought the reason that they couldn't make portals anymore was because they were too emotionally traumatized by the breakup to make anything happen. No, seriously. And so they theorized that because Janice showed up on Muni without a dimensional portal, they can use her to get back to Muni to figure out whatever the hell's going on, because obviously there's a big reason why the portals are suddenly not working. Unfortunately, this episode really is just a case of wasting time, since the majority of the episode is spent just as a day in the life of Jana. Now, while I don't dislike that concept in and of itself, I mean, let's face it, Jana is one of the most interesting characters on this show, and I would love to learn more about her. This doesn't really feel like the right time to be doing this plot, you know? And if that weren't stupid enough, we continue to milk the stupid love triangle bullshit.
I mean, if you and your best friend ended up being something else, I wouldn't be mad. Come on, dude. I think we both know that what you two have is something better than a curse.
So you're basically conceding that the entire Blood Moon curse was completely pointless. Is that it? Well, thank you, show. Thank you for wasting all of our time when all of us knew how it should rightfully end the whole damn time. Thank you very much.
The Blood Moon curse has been lifted. I mean, you were there.
Come on, dude.
No, go fuck yourself. There's actually a lot of problems with this statement, but here's the most important one that I'm actually surprised doesn't get talked about more. The last direct memory Marco has of you trying to stop Marco from asking her out when he had no interest in asking her out was fucking Naysayer. Yeah, you remember that? That was your fault, dipshit.
Dude, I'm so sorry.
No, you're not.
I totally put that curse on you to prevent you from asking out Star.
And then the next time he sees you, he finds out that you and Star got back together. What the hell is he supposed to think? I don't blame him for being confused as all fuck. And for that matter, Star, how did you not put 2 and 2 together? I mean, besides the fact that you can be very, very stupid sometimes. Also, remember that blocked off passage that we saw Star and Moon attempt to open in the episode Conquer? Well, it turns out that, well, leads directly to Britta's tacos. On Earth. Yeah, really. They figured this out during a lunch break too, because of course they fucking do.
Wait a second. Your name wouldn't happen to be Jana, would it?
No, it's Banana.
Okay, cool. All I know is I'm supposed to refuse service to someone named Jana.
Hey, is he 18?
Horace, the drinking age is 21.
Oh.
Star, if the magic well connects Earth and Muni, then what if the first humans were actually human?
Hey, that actually sounds like a hell of an interesting plot twist and would be great for world building.
Marco, less talky, more trashy.
Fuck you.
Hey, you guys ever wonder if the cast of this show got high on weed? No? Well, too bad, because we get to experience that for 11 full minutes. There's so many things in this episode I could talk about. Like Marco's sudden confession.
I want you to put me in your pocket, and I want to stay there, and you can just reach in whenever you want and just pat me on the head. Because I love you, Star.
What'd you just say?
All of them acting like they're high on weed here in the realm of magic.
Can we have 1,000 babies?
Star, that's not a question, that's a threat. Or how about the fact that magic seems to be corrupted again? Are we gonna talk about that? Yeah, remember when Moon was cleaning herself off in the realm of magic in the episode Divide? Yeah, this seems to be the result of that. But don't really get your hopes up. It's only here to serve as poor action scene fodder.
You must leave. I'm sorry.
I don't understand!
So, spoiler warning. This scene right here, whatever the hell this unicorn is doing with her horn, the magic thing, yeah, this is what sends the teens over to Muni. Well, except for Tom, who gets left behind in the realm of magic, but we'll pick up on that later. But yeah. See, the thing is, this entire episode has been about this unicorn taking all of these kids from one end of the realm of magic, the Earth portal, to the other end of the realm of magic, presumably to the Muni portal. And yet she uses her horn to zap them all to Muni. So obviously the question is, why didn't you just do this in the first place? Was this a last-ditch effort thing? Does doing this kill her? If not, then there is legitimately no reason why anything that happened in this episode had to happen at all. Seriously!
I want to show you something. It's my shocked face.
Serious question, but was anyone genuinely surprised when it was discovered that the Magic High Commission was in on it the whole time with Meena? I mean, once the show decided that the Magic High Commission was completely racist and evil instead of just morally ambiguous, this felt like the inevitable conclusion. And now, because of their morally racist, bigoted ways, Globgor has a potentially fatal wound on his arm. Yeah, long story short, that wound is a Solarian wound, and if they don't fix it soon, it's going to consume his body and make him explode. Yeah.
He's gonna die.
Probably.
Thankfully for us, we have Eclipsa on our side, who isn't afraid to kick ass and take names. Unfortunately, neither is the Solarian warrior. Well, it was nice knowing you, Eclipsa. So, how did all these people get here if the portals are supposed to be closed? Most of them are from different dimensions. I'm assuming that they were here before the portals closed, but if not, once again...
Great continuity!
So one criticism this season gets is its animation. And while I will admit that the fight scene between Star and Meteora last season felt a lot more impactful, I don't think the animation this season is outright bad. What it comes down to is, if you're going to animate an action scene, you have to make sure that the impacts are felt. If a character hits a wall or a floor, make sure you feel like they actually just broke their back or something. You know, make it hurt. Nice scream there, Star. Yeah, sorry, no. If you want me to believe that this is an impactful, frightening action scene, it has to go something more like this. Thankfully, once again for Star, Eclipsa steps in to save her ass. Which means Star won't be meeting an untimely fate thanks to this unnamed Solarian warrior. And I say unnamed Solarian warrior because, contrary to what they all assumed, that was not Meena.
What the hell's going on?
So, yeah, they're all fucked, aren't they? Also, why did the show think it was a good idea for Ponyhead to be the one to give the big inspirational speech that motivated Star to fight back? There's juxtaposition, and then there's not being able to read the tone that you yourself set up for this very scene. Okay, I'm done. Next! So that spell Eclipsa used to kick that unnamed Solarian warrior's ass? That was that mysterious spell with no name from the episode... A spell with no name. Seems like it would be the perfect weapon against the Solarian army. Except that using that spell again is immediately ruled out. Huh? Now I'm assuming the reason is because it's one of those dark spells, you know, the kinds that give them all those dark black veins on their arms that slowly creep up. You know, the ones that'll kill you if you use too much of that magic. That would be all fine and good, except it's never explicitly mentioned. They just go with a generic, oh, it's too dangerous excuse. Look, I certainly don't doubt that it's dangerous, but there's an army of several hundred Solarian warriors in big-ass, gigantic robot army suits outside, waiting to destroy you all. I think this is last resort territory. And yeah, we should probably talk about that scene. This is a scene where I'm willing to be more lenient towards Star. The thing about Star is, Season 4 has put this girl through hell all season long, seemingly non-stop. So obviously and logically there would come a point where she would just need to take a step back from everything while all of the shit is happening. I've seen people give her flack for this scene when, honestly, I don't think it's that big of a problem. It's Star needing a moment to recoup and regain her composure. Conceptually, at least, I don't see anything wrong with it. Especially when Star has done far, far worse shit this season. No, the really big problems start coming up when we actually get to the confession.
You know, the whole blood moon curse? That ordeal? Well, it's baloney. I felt like this since the beginning.
Wrong.
I mean, I'm not a little boy. I know that you don't just fall in love at first sight. The way I feel has just gotten more intense since we first met.
Wrong.
And it was intense at the start, and I know it's in the way.
In the way? Marco, why does it have to be bad?
You were literally too stupid to insult.
I don't even know where to begin with this, so I guess I'll just start at the end.
Marco, why does it have to be bad?
Gee, Star, I don't know. Let's start with the fact that you first confessed to having a crush on Marco in front of his girlfriend just before you turned around and left for Muni, presumably forever. You didn't even give him a chance to respond. Then, after he decides he wants to live on Muni full-time, presumably to be with you, he finds out, very casually I might add, that you got back together with Tom. Once again, I will remind you that the last official interaction Marco had with Tom was in the episode Naysaya, where he revealed that he cursed Marco so that he couldn't ask Star out because the voices in his head kept telling him that Marco wanted to ask Star out, despite the fact that there was zero fucking evidence to show that up to that point in the series. And at no point throughout the series from here on out was this ever touched upon. Not even in the episode Booth Buddies, the episode that was designed to do this. You see what I mean when I say it felt like they were trying to retcon all the past confessions to make this one the definitive confession? None of them get any sort of reference at all in this here scene. So yes, Star, I think Marco is perfectly in the right to be skeptical about the prospect of you wanting a relationship with him. Sorry.
You're an idiot.
Of course, that brings us to the other half of this confession, Marco's half, where the bigger problems honestly lie. Let's start with the most obvious problem.
I felt like this since the beginning.
You know, it's amazing. You are 100% wrong. I mean, nothing you've said has been right.
Yeah, Marco's statement here is debatably bullshit. The thing about Star and Marco is that they were written so well together and bounced off each other so damn well that having their feelings for each other progressed to a point where they wanted to engage in a romantic relationship together honestly made so much sense. They just worked so well together. And that isn't meant to disparage the other relationships, Marco and Jackie, Star and Tom, Marco and Kelly, etc. It's just that Star and Marco, from the very beginning, played off each other's strengths and weaknesses so well together that this pairing just made the most sense. With that said, however, Marco saying that he had been in love with Star since the very beginning, i.e. episode 1, is horseshit.
You liar!
Jackie Lynn Thomas.
That was episode 3 of this show. 3. He was head over heels enthralled with Jackie Lynn Thomas. But you're gonna argue to me that his love for Star was more intense than it was for Jackie? No. Sorry. I don't buy it. No. Based on the evidence that was presented to us, the only truly logical explanation is that Marco began developing feelings for Star at earliest late Season 2, and at latest mid-Season 3. With that said, however, I understand why they did it like this. They basically had no choice. Wanna know why? 2 words. Blood Moon.
Oh my god!
Look, there's a whole subset of arguments that claim that Star and Marco's feelings for each other throughout the series were never legitimate because the Blood Moon was hanging over them throughout the majority of the series. I personally don't buy into those arguments, but I completely understand where they're coming from. From my vantage point, there are 2 ways that this entire saga could be interpreted. 1, the curse was in fact real, and therefore, from the episode The Blood Moon Ball to the episode Curse of the Blood Moon, any romantic interaction Star and Marco had together was completely forced and therefore illegitimate. If that was what they were going for, then that means they completely fucked it up, because between the episodes Curse of the Blood Moon and between this episode, Here to Help, they barely spent any time together, so there was no plausible way they could develop a romantic connection together. Or door number 2, the Blood Moon Curse was horseshit the entire time, nothing was forcing them to stay together, and they were just fucking up their other relationships because they're dumbasses, and they always had feelings for each other from the beginning of the series till now. Now, I think either of these scenarios could make for a good story if the writing was good, but that's my point. The writing is not good. Regardless of which scenario is actually the correct one, there's no way around it. The writing was terrible, and they completely fucked this whole thing up. It's not that Star and Marco are bad for each other, it's that the writing has been so poor that they are actually worse for each other as a romantic pairing now than they were at the beginning of the series when there wasn't even a fucking hint of romance. How did you do that?
What are you doing? No, seriously, what the fuck are you doing?
So to circle back to the original point I made, yes, Star, Marco is 100% in the right to be skeptical and doubtful of your feelings for him because you have spent parts of 2 seasons romantically dicking him around. This is your fault, and you are going to own it.
You blew it! You done fucked it up! You stink!
Though credit where credit is due. Isolated from everything else, the kiss scene is really nice to see.
Okay, can we kiss?
Please.
Marco, I want you to love me because I love you. I'll give him a week.
I'll give him 11 minutes.
And hey, no matter what happens, despite how frustrating the context behind this scene makes me, it is by no means the worst scene in the episode. That honor belongs to this scene!
Are you working for Meena? No. Meena's working for me.
No, 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 and an infinite expanse of no's from the dimension of no, with a statue dedicated to their great creator, the god of no, who wept tears of no that filled the oceans with no and brought about billions of creatures who were no.
And projecting my no onto this, no!
And we're here, aren't we?
No! No!
Well, considering everything completely unfolds and falls apart in the next episode, let's say we just go there, shall we? So, yeah, Moon's a fucking traitor.
Meena was already planning to overthrow Eclipsa. Trust me, I stopped her from doing far worse.
You serious?
Holy shit, that line delivery right there makes Moon sound like someone so delusional that they have to justify and rationalize their horrid, treacherous actions. And I mean, if that was what they were going for, that would be one thing, but I can't even tell. See, the episode to establish that Moon was working with Meena would have been the episode Ghost of Butterfly Castle. But recall that in that episode, Moon actively tries to talk Meena out of doing this, and Meena departs the castle before Moon and her can even strike a deal, which means it would have had to happen off-screen. And hell, to take it a step further, at the end of that episode, Moon appears completely apathetic to doing anything involving royalty or politics. That includes abandoning her own fucking daughter. I think they were trying to make Moon a double agent of sorts. She may not like or trust Eclipsa, but she doesn't actively want the throne back. But she theorized that if she stood back and did nothing, Meena would absolutely murder everyone, so she believed that if she tried to help out in some ways, she could curtail Meena's behavior to some extent. I could honestly see an idea like that working. But it's not like there's misdirection in Moon's role, it's that there's no fucking direction! I won't even get to Moon's stupid justification for why she doesn't trust Eclipsa, because it's just bullshit and it doesn't matter. No, instead, I want to talk about this part. So Moon was the one that gave Meena and her Solarian army their Solarian power, and now, because Meena will not surrender, she attempts to take it back. And it doesn't fucking work!
Fucking what?!
You may have created the warriors, but we pledged our loyalty to Queen Solaria!
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit. Fuck.
But Moon was the one that gave you your powers to begin with. She's the one that created this new Solarian army. And obviously there's a functioning incantation that can reverse this, as Moon just demonstrated. Only explanation I'm willing to buy is that Moon said it incorrectly. But this is literally the first and only time that such an incantation is introduced, so I have no frame of reference to determine whether or not she even said it wrong. Which means, this is a blatant asspull. Congratulations, show, you've officially lost the plot.
We pledged our loyalty to Queen Solaria!
Congratulations, you played yourself.
But hey, it's okay, because they get their asses saved by... Hekapoo?
So, you're welcome.
Go fuck yourself.
No, Hekapoo, you saving their asses this one time does not negate your centuries of bigotry, hatred, racism, and outright treason. Also, I love how it's not till Star literally snaps and tells Moon to basically kill herself, where she finally gets it and realizes, oh, I did an oopsie.
We can't go back to Muni because we'll die from a situation that you caused. So just stay far away from me. Or better yet, stand over there, where you don't exist. Y'all are buzzkills. I'm gonna go make the best of this mess.
Glad to see your priorities in order, Hekapoo, you sniveling little cunt. Well, I guess there's no better time than the present to talk about the thing that really fucks over these last 2 episodes and really this season as a whole. So here you go.
I hate magic.
What?
What?
You were right, Marco. Magic's just... I don't even know what it is. I hate magic.
Bull fucking shit.
It's official. I hate magic. I'm gonna destroy it.
No! No!
Yeah, I'm sorry. Star's hatred of magic makes absolutely no goddamn sense whatsoever. It just... no!
Wrong.
At literally no point before Moon's betrayal was revealed did Star ever have a hatred for magic. She had a hatred for politics. While, yes, thanks to Muni's political structure, politics and magic go very hand in hand, they are not mutually exclusive to each other. Or is the show trying to imply that the second magic is destroyed, Muni automatically becomes a democracy? Is that a clause in the Constitution or something? And real talk for a second. From this point forward, talking about the show is going to be extremely tricky. Because basically, those shortcomings of the writing for this season really come back to bite the show in the ass. Skipping ahead again, but yes, Star ultimately decides to destroy the magic. And there's a lot of unfortunate implications that come with this decision. And I think people are asking the wrong questions as to how this works. The question isn't whether Star's decision to destroy the magic was morally correct. The right question is, did the show do a good enough job of justifying this decision? By the end of this being resolved, did the show thoroughly convince me that destroying the magic was a good decision to make? And the answer is an unequivocal
no.
The first reason, as I mentioned, is Star's hatred of magic comes right out of nowhere. There's no setup to it, and there's no build-up to it. Therefore, the payoff doesn't work. I get the impression that the reveal of Moon being a traitor was supposed to be the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. Except there's no camel. And honestly, this is only so much of an issue because of how pivotal magic is to the functioning of not only Muni, but really the entire multiverse. This is not a decision that should have just been made willy-nilly like Star used to do in the early days. Now, one could argue that Star doing this, exactly like this, is in character for her, but honestly, no, it's not, because Star did grow past this to an extent, at least when it came to her life as a princess. She did become more responsible, she did think things through a lot more, and she put the kingdom first. At least she tried. My point is, her bad decisions were restricted to her personal life, not her political life. Okay, let's say you really want to run with this idea, that Star just now despises magic and its existence, and it's dead to her, and she wants to destroy it all. Now, that's not automatically an idea that can't work, but you really needed to introduce it earlier so that there's payoff here. And you know the best place to do that? The Beach Day episode! Yeah, you know that ending scene where Star enchants a shopping cart and they fly away in it? Well, what if instead of that, Star decided against doing that, to Marco's confusion, and she just hails a regular taxi for them to go home in. There, it's a small gesture that plants the seed of Star wanting to move away from magic, but it's still so innocuous that nobody would reasonably expect it until it's brought up again. But even then, that doesn't fix the most glaring failure that the show has. That being, it did not think through the implications it set up for destroying the magic. Either that, or they blatantly disregarded them. Isn't dimensional portal traveling connected to Muni magic? Technically, even though Tom can create portals to the underworld despite not being Muni magic. God, none of this makes any sense! Oh, speaking of things not making sense, here we have this scene!
Thank you for freeing my husband. I can only assume it was you who asked Romulus to release Globgor at my coronation.
I have so many
I don't understand!
So if you wanted to overthrow Eclipsa anyway, why would you bother rallying to have Globgor released from his crystal prison? If you really wanted to overthrow Eclipsa, why not just help Romulus recrystallize Eclipsa? Was this your plan from the beginning? Were you in on it the entire time with the Magic High Commission? Did you blackmail them? Did they blackmail you? Is that why you chose to tell Star nothing? Does this mean that everything you said about enjoying a nice quiet life, everything you said about enjoying not being queen of anything, all a lie? Why did you do any of the things that you did?
Just raises too many questions.
Also, if Star's tapestry is supposed to be a representation of her destroying the magic, why the fuck is she shooting magic out of her hand?
Great continuity!
My tapestry. It's finished. Oh, my. I actually destroyed the magic, so my temper tantrum was right all along.
You know, being self-aware that you're bad doesn't make you less bad. Just means that you don't care that you're bad.
You know, maybe it wasn't the smartest idea to frame what would be the most important decision of the entire series as nothing more than a fucking temper tantrum, guys. Just a thought. Oh yeah, and apparently destroying the magic means Marco goes back to Earth or whatever.
The magic will put him back where he belongs.
On Earth.
Notice how Glossaric isn't the one to say that Marco goes back to Earth. Star just makes that assumption because, well, think about it. There's literally nothing else in the universe that would have said otherwise. Based on this, I can only infer that Glossaric knew what would eventually happen in the next episode. And to that I say, Glossaric?
Fuck yeah!
I have no feelings.
I know that theoretically this part is supposed to be very depressing. The idea that Star is going to have to sacrifice the relationship that she wanted all along with the only boy that she truly, genuinely loved in order to save her people and possibly the multiverse. But on the flip side, the idea that she only finally admitted her love for him like an hour earlier and now has to give all of that up because of a sick twist of fate is fucking hilarious to me. Like seriously, this girl could have started a relationship with him anytime she wanted. She knew it was what she wanted, but she put it off until the very last minute, and now it's too late. That is hilarious.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
Also, no, Toffee was not right, as Star claims in this scene. Toffee wanted monsters, or more specifically, his own kind of monsters, Septarians, to be the dominant species. Star at least wanted equality between monsters and humankind. So, yeah, it's decided. Star is going to attempt to destroy the magic, and she very clearly has not thought through the implications of what she wants to do. And the worst part is, there's only one episode left. So yeah, unlike seasons 2 and 3, this season only has one 22-minute episode to conclude it, which is similar to what season 1 did, but season 1 was nowhere near as story-heavy as seasons 2 through 4 were, and season 1 was considerably shorter. I have no idea why it was done like this, especially when we get to the actual final product, that is the series finale. But yeah, this is where we are. I guess I can't put it off any longer. Let's just get to it. The series finale of Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Cleaved. Let's roll. And we are immediately hit with a red flag, as this episode has a shortened intro for some reason. No, really, of all the episodes of the series, this is the only one that has a shortened, condensed intro sequence. Which is absolutely hilarious to me, because the 15 seconds this save doesn't do anything to salvage what we get.
Hey, Hackapoo, I need you to open the portals. I'm destroying the magic.
Yeah, sure. Blow it up.
And you immediately lost me. How'd you do that? Was that a second? Was that even a second?
I always had the feeling this stuff did more harm than good.
Okay, that's it, I quit. Once and for all, really. Good night.
So, you always believed that magic was not doing good for the kingdom. And yet, instead of doing anything truly productive about it, and trying to fix the problems that you perceived, you sat back on your lazy, egotistical, smaller than your dress implies ass, and let things go to shit. You know what? I hope your death is the most painful, you narcissistic son of a bitch.
Go fuck yourself.
Like, seriously, this is kind of fucking infuriating. It's not like Hackapoo is showing any remorse or regret for her part in things going as poorly as they have. She sounds completely apathetic to the fact that she is probably going to fucking die. And if they were trying to make her into a remorseful character, make her regret her actions, make her regret the attempted coup over Eclipsa, then holy crap, they failed so hard. I can't even give her credit for not bothering to fight against Star over opening the portal to the realm of magic, because she legitimately sounds like she doesn't have a care in the world at this point. Enjoy death, bitch! So yeah, into the realm of magic we go. And here's where we learn that the pudding actually has a purpose.
Oh, Marco, what's your problem?
The pudding! The pudding keeps your mind sharp.
Glyceric!
I have no feelings.
Also, that's one way to pay back Tom for dumping your ass. Strand him in the realm of magic to be completely corrupted.
Has he been trapped in the magic this whole time?
You're an idiot.
You are the worst girlfriend ever. Oh, but that's totally okay, because apparently it doesn't matter how far gone you are. One spoonful of pudding will set your mind wait, well, what happened?
What the hell is going on?
So you know how Marco got stabbed here by the fucking unicorn, but then it never actually came into play ever again? He showed no signs of pain or suffering or anything like that? Well, apparently it was going to be more impactful and significant until executive meddling came into play. From Adam MacArthur, the voice actor for Marco Diaz, himself, quote, "We did multiple takes where Marco was a lot more affected by the stab. It was supposed to make everyone think he was going to die because he didn't have the strength to get out of the magic. The killing of a main character is not something they like to allude to, so the final edit went with a less intense version. In this scene, Marco sounded very normal. No pain or anything. It wasn't supposed to be like that, though. We were supposed to think he wasn't going to make..." Now, I'm not sitting here saying that Marco dying in this version would have been better than him living, but for all of the debates that have been had over how much blame any one faction or any one person should get for how this season sort of fell apart, at least in this one specific situation, it's the fault of the executives and not the creative team themselves. So y'all can just shut up about it now.
Magic needs to be destroyed.
I know. You're right. The age of queens and magic needs to end.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
And you came to this decision when exactly? Because as recently as when Star stepped through the portal to go to the realm of magic, you were still against it anyway. I can appreciate that you probably feel guilty for fucking everything over and betraying your own daughter.
I know I have a lot to make up for.
No! Really?
But again, this kind of monumental status quo changing decision really shouldn't be made on a whim. Although credit where it's due, I guess. I fully expected that Moon would have gone for a Subway gift card. At least this is something that takes actual effort. Except it kind of doesn't, because once Moon, Star, Eclipsa, and even Meteora, yes, even Meteora, I'm not even going to bother touching that one, get started on destroying the magic, it's pretty straightforward from there. It's actually pretty anticlimactic, and a little insulting for a series finale, not gonna lie. And no, I'm not even gonna get into what the hell I think is even going on with these past queens showing up and shit. This is already incredibly convoluted, despite being incredibly simple, and I wasn't even aware that was possible. Oh, and just get a load of what happens with Meena, the big bad that they've been building up to all season.
Queen Solaria? What are you doing with these monster smoochers? Solaria!
Fail! You fail!
A horse. A fucking corrupted horse. Meena Loveberry, the big baddie that this show has been building up to all season long, the one hyped up as even more powerful than Toffee, is taken out by a fucking horse. Maybe if the show's tone was closer to what it was in Season 1, where it emphasized the wacky and silly and stupid, I could accept this. But guess what? It's not. Season 3 made this mistake as well, but even then, at least that moment came after Toffee already got his ass handed to him by Star. It was like a bonus after the cathartic fight. This is just dumb. So freaking dumb. And not to beat a literal dead horse with another dead horse, but did nobody notice that the magic has been completely corrupted? Like seriously, nobody even fucking points it out. So what was even the point? But none of this matters because magic is destroyed now, and apparently that was always the right thing to do.
I think you made the right choice.
Okay, but why though?
I'm proud of you, kid.
Fuck you.
Lazaric, what's going to happen to you?
Well, a good captain always goes down with his ship.
She wasn't talking about a captain, she was talking about you. You know, it's kind of worrying that Star didn't even tell Marco the consequences of going through with this plan. I mean, what would you have done if he had just decided that was the last straw and didn't even bother going back to the realm of magic for you? You would have died there all alone, scared and crying, and I'd probably be here laughing at you. Okay, riffing aside, this is honestly a genuinely tear-jerking moment.
Because with or without magic,
we belong together.
And she's alive somehow.
I have several questions.
This is going to be a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I don't actually mind the fact that they let Meena live. I like what they were trying to go for here. That no matter how many people die off, racist, bigoted, hateful messages and rhetorics are still going to be around. They will always have to be defeated at every corner. If Meena were to ever die off, someone else will just take her place. That being said, 1, how the hell is she still alive? Isn't she over 300 years old? Shouldn't she be dead? Especially since it was the Solarian power that was sustaining. And 2, how did you just let her walk off like that? You didn't even put up a fight. It would have been a lot better and more justified had they tried to capture her and she just evaded them or something.
I think I'll just stay here. It turns out I wasn't as hateful as I thought it was.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Lady, you clearly had an unfair agenda against Eclipsa. Hell, you were part of the first family that went to River and Moon's village for families that didn't want to be ruled by Eclipsa. You can get fucked.
So I have so much to apologize for. I don't even know where to begin, or if it's even possible.
Mom, you messed up. Big time.
So, yeah, let's talk about this. Because I do agree with the consensus that Star forgave Moon way too easily. Keep in mind just how badly Moon's character got assassinated this season. In what I can only assume was the show's intention of making her a double agent, they completely failed to justify her actions in betraying not only her kingdom, but her own daughter. Keep in mind that at the start of the season, Star volunteered, without any provocation, to stay behind with Eclipsa at the castle to help her and train her to become a proper queen so she could lead the Kingdom of Muni. This while Moon didn't hesitate to gallivant away with River to a nearby village, so she didn't have to worry about any of that. And how does Moon repay her daughter? By undermining everything she busted her ass for in Season 4 to accomplish. Actually, I take that back. Not just Season 4. All the way back to the middle of Season 3. Everything post-Toffee that Star tried to accomplish, Moon undermined because, quote, she didn't trust Eclipsa, unquote. And why didn't Moon trust Eclipsa? This. I'm sorry, but we're going to need a little bit more from Moon in order for us to decide that her being forgiven is justified. Because say what you will about whether you think Star destroying the magic was a good or bad decision, or was morally reprehensible, or whatever, if Moon didn't do what she had done, Star wouldn't have been driven to that decision. So yeah, this is Moon's fault.
You fucked it up!
So,
Callie is crying big, beautiful tears of joy because she is riding her dying friend, and they are right in the middle of the most amazing battle quest ever!
Get me in as close as you can!
I'm on it!
Yeah, all right!
No, 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 and an infinite expanse of no's from the dimension of no, with a statue dedicated to their great creator, the god of no, who wept tears of no that filled the oceans with no and brought about billions of creatures who were no!
I'm projecting my no onto this! No!
like, I get what they were going for, but, like, Ponyhead was the absolute worst character they could have used for this part. Because she's not a character that's known to take anything seriously. Anyway, yes, Marco is in fact safe on Earth.
No one is as cool as Star.
It's just nice to hear you say that we're friends. Thanks.
I'm sorry, since when was this a thing on the show? Was this supposed to be some sort of character arc for either Marco or Jana? Because as far as I could tell, there was no evidence that this was supposed to be a character arc. Anyway, you know how this goes, so let's just get to the last scene, shall we? You know, for as much flack as this episode, and particularly this scene gets, this part is actually kind of consistent with the rest of the series. Recall in the episode Storm the Castle, after Star uses the Whispering spell, which, by the way, might I add, was different from that episode to this episode, to destroy the wand, there's an explosion. Same thing in the episode Toffee. So up to this point, this all checks out. Not so for everything that comes after. And honestly, there is so much going on in this scene that I don't even know if I could properly articulate it. All I'm going to say on it is, this definitely feels like a scene that was setting up potential sequel content. Which is not a bad thing on its own. It's not exactly an uncommon practice anymore, especially with how popular franchises can get. And whether you like it or not, this series has gained somewhat of a cult following since its ending, for better or for worse. So, yeah, I definitely would be up to seeing how this scene plays out further in the future. It's almost like the show gave itself a challenge. How the hell do you continue the story from this point on? There's just one problem. This is the last episode.
What?
Yep, this is the last image we get of the series. You know all of that commotion we just saw of humans running around in fear of the monsters that came from Muni? Yeah, let's just ignore all that, and let's just focus on these two people. And don't get me wrong, from a pure character perspective, I'm happy these two have reunited. It's just, you can't expect me to ignore everything else going on, can you? This really can't be the way the show ends, can it? Well, as of right now, it is. So, enjoy. Or not. I don't know. Let's just wrap this up. And that's it. That is all 37 episodes of Season 4, and 140 episodes total of Star vs. the Forces of Evil. Holy crap! Now, as you can imagine from the length of this video alone, Season 4 had a lot to unpack, didn't it? Now, I stand by my statement that Season 4 is by far the weakest season of the show. But it's not entirely meritless. It's just a problem of there being so many good ideas here that they just don't have enough time to be fleshed out properly. Unfortunately, there's also a lot of bad ideas and a lot of dumb shit that just bog the whole thing down and keep it from being truly great. And really, the more I think about this season, the more I realize that the majority of the failings of this season come with the episodes that go after Coronation. Because it just feels like the show wasn't entirely sure in what direction it wanted to go. It felt like they were trying to set up a whole new arc for the show to go in, but there was just nowhere near enough episodes to really take advantage of that. And I really don't want to go into any more detail about the character assassinations, because I think I've been plenty thorough in this 2+ hour video of mine. So I think I'm just going to wrap up by saying that despite this clusterfuck of a season, where so many things went wrong, I still love the show. I do. It is very near and dear to my heart. I still love the characters, the environments, the stories, the comedy, but most of all, I think I really just love the potential. The potential that this show has and had to be something truly marvelous. It's unfortunate that, in my opinion, the show never quite fulfilled its full potential, but very few shows really do. And here's a show that certainly came close and certainly tried its damnness at a lot of the time, and it just didn't completely work. But I still love it. Honestly, I'd be completely up for hearing some behind-the-scenes stories about the production of the show, especially the last season, because supposedly, keyword supposedly, production on the last season was very tumultuous, and it's very uncertain when exactly the crew found out that Season 4 would be the last season. In any case, I've just about said my piece on this show. I hope you've enjoyed this little journey with me as we looked over every episode of this series, riffed the hell out of it, and celebrated all of the great things that it did. Seriously, this experience has been amazing for me. You know what? It's been so amazing, let's say we do it again! Yeah, join me next time when I'll riff on one of my favorite cartoons from my childhood, the spunky, silly, stupid, Ghost Boy cartoon, Danny Phantom, created by the man that created your childhood.
You stole El Chapo?
What? No. I didn't steal it. I found it. No one was using it. It was just stuck in an ancient statue very deliberately and... Oh no.
Uh-oh! Retard alert! Retard alert, class!
Okay, so if a kicker kicks with his left leg and scores, that's 3 points. But if it's raining on a Tuesday, then that's 4 points.
What the f*** are you talking about? Was that even English?
That leads to the magic.
Now I remember.
Wow.